reckon I can do it. I can recreate this.
Okay.
So if you're ready, with a timer at home, check this out. I'm going to go through the roster. Breakneck speed, 007 Honey Collider, 04 Modern Warfare, 108 Tripitaka, 117 Chop Chop, 122 Ella Edwards, Victoria Beta 11 1618, 17 Billy, Jen and Jukes 23, 27 Beowulf, 314 Buck Curious, 36 Slim Hurt and Betty Doon, 506 Darling 74, 84 BA and 93 Slappuccino. That's Queen Bee for ya.
Holy moly. And representing the Swarm from Queensland, 02 Harry Smiles, 111 Rattling Bones, 17 is Sassenbite, 180 the Smiling Assassin, SX. I forgot to breathe there for a minute. 206 Maiden Hell, 23 the one and only Indigo Fury, 411 Blockadol Dundee. Number 6 is Alice Affliction, 7 Spinach, 87 Veruca Assault, 99 Mo Money, and a late add-on to my paperwork, 790 is Patch, and working the bench, Brat, Craig Weinheimer, and Duncan Manuts. Big shout out to Zach Buckley. He could not make it today. Where are you, Zach Buckley?
Zach. Where are you, Zach? All right.
Somebody watching online as we speak. Hello, Chrissy. Yay, Sun State.
Yay, Sun State indeed. I've got a big soft spot for Sun State. And look, I mean, coming into this match, VRDL, Chop Chops from Sun State, BA's from Sun State. No Jambi, but you know what? Spinach is out there. She's kicking goals. Harry Smiles has been having a great one, jamming her socks off. And SX, we can't forget SX also. I mean, Alice Affliction, they've been doing really, really well in this TGSS, so I have no idea what's going to occur.
Wall-to-wall roller derby excellence on track in Division 1. We're kicking it off with number 7 Spinach on the jammer line for Sun State, lining up against her 122 Ella Edwards. The fearsome name of Ella Edwards.
Ella,
Oh, Spinach gets taken down twice, straight back up again. Oh.
It is Ella Edwards with lead jam straight off in this first jam of the game.
And both teams slipping straight into top gear. Spinach around the outside.
Spinach has skated with a lot of these skates before in Team Australia over in Manchester in February. So she's quite familiar with how a lot of them skate anyhow. So I'm expecting big things from Spinach this game.
Ella Edwards doing the right thing, calling the jam of 4 points to kick off the account for Victoria.
Chop, chop, or as it says on her shirt, just like the illustrious Wagga Wagga, just the one chop, and Alice Affliction for Sun State.
No one in the penalty box. We've hosed it down. It is clean. Check out the blockers rolling right back.
Chop. Now, Chop is probably going to come in here with a lot of knowledge about how Sun State plays, and as being a massive Sun State alumni.
We've got some fast jammers on track. Both jammers through. I remember the old days. Chop Chop used to play for Sun State, and the crowd just would go berserko.
Oh, yeah, and they had their own hand movements. Who out there on the internet remembers the Chop Chop hand chop?
Way back when. Oh, that's a shankin' too. Is that a shankin'? That is a shankin'.
Yeah.
2 points to the Swarm.
Well, they're going to really like that. Shanks for the points, Queen Bee. Spinach, Ella Edwards. Maybe they're in the same jammer cycle. Maybe we'll see this duo pairing off against each other quite a lot over the next hour and 15 minutes.
I'm anticipating high rotation work by both of these jammers. 2 blockers in the penalty box for the Swarm, 1 blocker for Victoria.
Spinach is going to have to get recycled, as was Ella. Both jammers making their way on the outside. It's Spinach who comes through. Lead jammer going through to Sun State. Ella's now through the pack as well. Both these two jammers, there's one blocker in each of these two teams sitting down. Spinach grabs the points.
Look at that offensive, defensive work. Is it offensive or defensive? Both.
Offensive blocking. Yep. Now, Spinach just puts the points on the board. Ella's got the same amount of points on the board.
Not to be outdone.
No, and Spinach is looking around and keeping it going. Ella's stuck in the first 2 blockers, which is number 23 up the front, Indigo Fury, holding back Ella, which is a great feat. Ella's got a lot of strength to her, and also number 180, a 2-person blocking, and doing great work there in holding back Ella.
4 more points. Ella.
Hey.
Rattling Bones is back on track for the Swarm. Spinach checking with the team bench. The instructions are, don't you come off track, keep on rolling.
Keep on trucking.
Slipping around the outside, 4 more points. Well done, Spinach.
Spinach did lose the lead there, but she's managed to get it back as Ella was caught up in those Sun State blockers. Ella's now through as well, so it's even those scores up. Spinach is probably going to look at this and go, right, maybe I'll grab some points and I'll call it off here because this tit-for-tat business is not necessarily working out in the favour, and going to keep going around. So we've got only got 15 seconds left in this, and that's Ella equalising the jam again. So 10 seconds and Spinach. I mean, I'm not a technical sort of a.
We don't want to get overly technical
person.
with things.
No, not us.
Mo Money standing up in the penalty box. It's hard to tell because this crowd is whipped up into a frenzy. That is jam over.
Yeah. So after all of that and all those points up and down for both those two teams, Sun State come out of it with 3 more points than the Queen Bees. So guess what? We've got ourselves a lead change. So if you're sitting at home playing the lead change roller derby game, have yourself a shot. Swarm Sun State just took the lead at 21 points to the Queen Bees.
And 20. I've got an inkling by the end of this half you will be very, very drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe have 1 shot of water, 1 shot of whatever else you're drinking, because it's going to be a lot of changes.
Gin, talking about drinking gin and jukes.
Sipping on gin and jukes, lady.
Alice Affliction with that distinctive skating style, getting through for her initial pass. SX heading to the penalty box.
Alice Affliction putting the points on the board, and she's now surely calling off.
Not a
2
bad
to
effort.
4.
Yeah, not a bad effort by Alice Affliction, scoring 2 points at the back of the pack.
Yeah, quite good work. And guess what? Have another shot because there's been a lead change again.
Oh, boy.
Queen Bees up by 1 point on Sun State.
Harry Smiles. I think this is the first time she has found herself on the jam line. I'm liking the pink skates.
Pie Curious, the pivot for Queen Bees, up right around the neck of number 2 Harry Smiles, who's been having a really great TGSS so far, and Chop Chop caught in right amongst there. Harry Smiles looking over, trying to get a bit of Chop Chop action, but Chop Chop's free. Lead jammer to VRDL.
You see Rattling Bones trying to chop her down with a big shoulder. 2 blockers still in the penalty box for the Swarm. Chop Chop means business.
Oh, she sure does. There's points on the board, 5 of them, because Harry Smiles is still caught up in those back blockers.
Harry Smiles looking for love in all the wrong places. Chop Chop chasing the points for the Vic team. High level of roller derby on track 2 here at the Great Southern Slam.
Out of nowhere, here comes Harry.
Perseverance paying off for Harry Smiles, scoring the points. Chop Chop keeps on rolling. Interesting hand gestures on the bench for Victoria.
That is some big arm movements.
I'm going to call that one the locomotive.
Yeah. Locomotive with no one at the wheel.
Wow. Slappuccino finds herself in the penalty box for Victoria.
So, got good defensive work by both these two teams. Everyone's held up at a standstill. There's lots of people right in there, and it looks like Harry's been knocked out on the outside edge because the back marker has just flown in, and that's Honey Collider. Harry's made it out of there with 4 points on the board.
Resets.
Where's Chop Chop?
Where is Chop Chop?
At the back.
Oh, where's Chop Chop?
Having a bit of a cuddle with her old Sun State pals.
Just catching up on track. No, it's all very serious. It looks very serious.
It does look serious. That's because this is a serious sport, Johnny.
It can be at times. We're down to the serious end of this tournament.
Pickles knows the movement. Look, chop. There you go. Chop, chop, chop.
Emojis. I love emojis.
Oh, they get the job done, don't they? So, Ella Edwards, Spinach. This duo, I think we're going to see a lot of. Spinach is probably the premier jammer for Sun State, or what I've seen so far. Feel free to call me out on that one. But she's been certainly doing a lot of damage in this competition, and now is certainly no different. Lead jammer. She's turned around to give Ella a bit of run for money. Ella is in front, but not the lead jammer.
Just a hint of jammer on jammer Accioni here on track 2. Oh, Rattling Bones with some TJ hooker type action. Straight back up again.
You know what? And so Spinach was stopping around to have a bit of a block with Ella, and Ella is going to do the same thing.
Blockadal Dundee with a big hit.
Ella almost rejoined the track, and then she goes, oh, hang on a second. I think I've got to go back behind some folks.
Spinach scoring points for Sun State. Look at this. Look at this pack slowing right down. Spinach getting absolutely pummeled on the far side of the track. She's heading to the... No, she's just being recycled.
By Modern Warfare. Now, this is true champagne roller derby, as my co-commentator from back home, Artie, would say.
Champagne.
Champagne, yeah.
Oh.
Or, as we like to call it, sparkling white wine. From Frankston.
Go Frankston. Shout out Frankston.
Ella Edwards, 5 points in the sky, because Spinach is now sitting in the sin bin. Not too sure what actually happened there, because I was making jokes about Frankston. Ella now 5 more points on the board. It's amazing what can happen when the defensive team is taking up the other team's time.
Rattlin' Bones. Is that Rattlin' Bones back on track for the Swarm, making her way to the front of the pack? Ella. This is a big jet. Oh!
Nice hit by Rattlin' Bones.
Is Rattlin' Bones.
Is that a high block? It looks like getting back on track.
Yeah, she thought she was heading to the penalty box.
She did.
She was turning herself in, I think.
I think she was. She's like, yeah, sure. It was a pretty big hit. I'm going to take one on the... I don't know what I'm being sent off for, but sure, I'm out.
That is jam over.
5-5. Both hands up in the air, fingers spread as wide as they possibly can. I don't know how both jammers got 5. What do they lap each other?
Interesting. Our referee's just having a bit of a talk about that, possibly. Possibly.
I think it is a possibility because...
anything can happen in Division 1.
Spinach was in the sin bin at some stage.
Yeah.
Either way, the score now sits at 53 to the Queen Bees and 36 to the Swarm. Only a little bit of a lead, certainly nothing that you'd write home about. And 15-9 on that last jam, Johnny.
Exciting stuff. The crowd is starting to build here on track 2. Words out.
Yeah. There's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of semis and quarterfinals going on. And a lot of crowds turned up to see what the result of this one is, because quite possibly the winner of this one might be going on into something else. I'm not too sure how it works. It's all very technical. Gin and Jukes, jammer for the Queen Bees, but she's not the one in the lead. Yes, she is.
Hello, Gin and Jukes.
Sipping on Gin and Jukes. Alice Affliction knocked out on the inside edge by Pie Curious. Gin and Jukes, such a strong skater.
Chasing the points.
Pushy, trying to get her way through. Alice Affliction on the outside edge. Gin and Jukes getting caught up there and recycled all the way back.
Perfectly timed, calling that jam off. Exciting stuff. We still got plenty of time left in this first half of roller derby action.
That's a pretty fast-moving game, Johnny, I tell you.
My brain hurts a little bit.
Where's our brain massage? Hang on, there's some massage people. Physio Fit, one of the sponsors. I'm sure they do brain massages.
I know very little about physio and fitness, so I'm no real expert.
What about sponsors?
Our beautiful sponsors, supporters of the Great Southern Slam, I meant to say.
Spinach showing exactly her skill set and coming out lead jammer. And Chop half a lap behind her. But Spinach just sails through there. We've got 2 VRDL blockers in the bin. Chop, I think she just flew through that defense. She's like, I'm not going to just get lagged behind here. I'm going to keep on moving. Spinach does a little pirouette. She's in the hard to spot C for us, which is corner 2. Chop's overtaken.
Holding that inside line. Yeah, Spinach was recycled all the way back. Spinach does want to get outdone as well, scoring points for Sun State. 4 more points. Chop chasing points for herself. Rocking the visor. SX organising defence out front along with number 23, the one and only Indigo Fury.
Spinach doing a lot of juking on her own there. She's got the entire Queen Bees trying to give her a hug, but maybe they'll just do that after the after the bout here because it's not appropriate right now because Spinach is too busy putting on the points.
Spinach is still lead jammer, believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it.
We're rolling. This is a big jam for Sun State. Did you see that gap down that inside line? Nice offensive work by the blockers for Sun State. You could fit my fat head straight down the middle of that track. That is jam over.
16-12. Both those jammers working real hard, and it might as well have been a 4-0 jam. So Swarm making up 4 points there. And now 18 points the difference with almost 18 minutes left. 18
points is nothing in the great sport of roller derby. So early in the bout as well. Still 17 minutes left in the first half. Gin and Jukes lining up against Alice Affliction for the Swarm.
That's right. 18 minutes is 1 minute in the right hands. You can make up 18 points, sorry. And so we've got Alice Affliction, lead jammer for Sun State. And caught up in the middle of that is Gin and Jukes, who is completely swarmed by the Swarm.
Real speed shown by Alice straight down that inside line for the full 5 points. Gin and Jukes being well and truly held up.
Nice hit there by Pie Curious, and it looks like BA. No, she's in there either way. Both of these two teams resorting their walls and getting around there. Gin and Jukes managed to juke her way around through the inside track, and she's now skirting her around. I think that was her initial pass.
That was the initial pass. Alice loves scoring points as well. Holds that inside line, runs straight into that blocker out front. Bit of a waterfall by Victoria. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Don't do it. You just got to stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, mate.
Gin and Jukes love scoring points as well. Holds that inside line, gets knocked inbounds.
Alice Affliction choosing very rightly so to keep this jam going because she's certainly in charge. And 4 points on the board for Gin and Jukes and calls it off Alice Affliction. Probably a very wise decision, taking the 9-point lead that she got on that one. We're now looking at a 9-point game. As we said before, 1 minute can change everything.
Momentum's a funny old thing in the game of roller derby. Also, Alice Affliction with some handy work calling the jam off right near the bench so she can just roll half a meter. Don't want to use too much energy early on in this bout.
She is saving it all. So Spinach and Ella Edwards on the jam line. Ella looking for her inside edge, but Sun State are right there ready for her. Spinach, on the other hand, out on the outside, having absolute cracker of a game so far.
And look at that dynamite defense by the Swarm. A bit of a chink by Spinach. Almost gets the head ripped off.
Yeah, ducks the head, and it looks like she was just trying to pop it off like a Lego man.
Like a Pez dispenser almost, hitting the back of that pack.
I don't think there's any lollies in her throat, though. Ella Edwards stashes the helmet cover and puts it straight back on. But Spinach is being caught up now. She cut through easy on the first go. Ella's now in scoring range. Spinach being recycled. So Spinach is going to weigh up her options because Ella's just taken the points and shanked her, whilst Spinach is now through for her initial scoring pass.
Well done, Spinach. Perseverance once again paying off. That's a lesson for the kids watching at home. Perseverance now and then. Not every time.
That's right.
But sometimes pays off.
Yeah, there's that old adage of passive persistence beats resistance.
Beautiful work, my friend.
So Ella Edwards now climbing around. Spinach is like, I don't think I want to give away any more points to Ella.
That'll do.
That'll do.
That'll
Spinach.
do me.
That'll do.
Oh, so much time left in this first half. Are you excited at home watching this bout? I am certainly trembling, sitting on the very edge of my seat. It's probably not a great idea for a man of my weight to be sitting so far forward on my seat. It couldn't be good. I've broken many chairs in my time sitting on the edge of the seat.
What's a plastic chair between friends, Johnny?
I should have tripled it up. Only one. That's dangerous work by me. Alice Affliction jamming for Sun State.
No, that's 108. Is that Tripitaka? I think it is.
Tripitaka.
And Tripitaka
Goes.
Yeah, monkey magic skills. Tripitaka originally was the Buddhist teachings on the scrolls. That was the scrolls with all the Buddhist teachings that the monkey god took across India and China. I don't think anyone really goes that far into monkey magic. I just really love that show.
That's a great show.
Oh, monkey. Tripitaka putting points on the board. She's already got 4. She's now ready in scoring range. Now, Alice Affliction is in a position. I'm not sure. Has she made her initial pass?
Oh, good question. It deserves a good answer.
It does. We're about to find out because she's just gotten through those front blockers. She did make her initial pass. There's 4 points for Alice Affliction also.
Look at the defense. Fantastic defense by SX. Positional blocking, they call that, apparently.
Oh. Just getting in the way. That's what I call it.
Jam over. 2 points scored by Victoria on that last lap. We got a very, very tight bout. Still plenty of time left in this first half. I may be anticipating we could see possibly, I don't want to announce it too early. There's every chance we could be seeing a...
Oh, so much build-up.
Wait for it. Drum roll, please.
I'm on the edge of my seat now, Johnny.
Team timeout. There you
Hey!
go. I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag a little bit early, just in case I was wrong.
Yeah. I'm the kind of guy that just is like, whatever, I'm just going to call it. Wrong or not. And then people start typing in going, do you guys even know what you're doing? Yeah. But I can guarantee you we do not. We are most definitely just amateurs sitting on chairs with microphones.
Jared, you are right. Who doesn't get into a monkey?
Exactly.
You're a burden to others and a fool to yourself. A great, great show.
Monkey is fantastic. There's a formula to every episode of Monkey Magic. They hit you up with Buddhist principles in the first 6 minutes, and then every episode has 3 different Buddhist principles that explore through a story. I bet you didn't know that as a kid.
Not all of that. Little bits and pieces of that I did.
I just liked all the demons coming out and the fighting and the monkeys with the stick and whatnot.
I didn't like the second player who played Pigsy, though.
Neither did I.
I like the original Pigsy.
The original Pigsy. And when they had the dragon that turned into the horse, I'm like, come on.
I'm not real sure about that one.
That horse should have stayed a horse. So enough about Monkey and more about Derby, because Chop Chop and Spinach, who are pretty much identical height at 5 foot short, and they are completely ready to take this game by storm.
A fantastic matchup for those people playing at home. We have a clean penalty box. No one in the penalty box. We have a full complement of blockers for both teams. Spinach is lead jammer.
She sure is. Chop Chop getting held up just in those last few seconds. She's now going to get re-enveloped by those 2 front blockers, and Chop Chop's now out as well. That's Spinach scoring up. She's going around and around, and so that's exactly what Chop Chop wants to do. So they're going to keep out these long jams. They're definitely not going for this hit and quit it. But just sitting down to my left, we've got Lady Trample and Sarah Chambers checking in on this game. Got some
superstar patronage here at the Great Southern Slam.
That's right.
Track 2 is the place to be. Oh, we got a couple of
protected
blockers.
arm, it looks like.
Heading to the penalty box. Chop Chop gets taken out of bounds. Blockadol Dundee also makes her way to the penalty box.
That's not a knife. Blockadol Dundee up against Ivy Canivy. That'd be a great mix.
Points are scored in the meantime to Victoria. Don't forget Sun State. They are the Sun State Roller Derby League now, not the Sun State Roller Girls.
That's right. So they're no longer SSRG. So if you're looking at, we have been putting SSRG on things, but only because they registered before they changed their name. Oh. So now they're just Sun State, because SSRD is taken with South Sea Roller Derby.
There you go.
You can't use somebody else's acronyms. That's not on.
I believe we do have a power jam to Victoria. I see fists are pumping on the Victorian bench. So, yeah, 4 more points. Queen Bees have busted through that 100-point barrier. Is there a barrier there, really? But they are on 101 points.
All right, Chop Chop makes her way through 5 points in the air. That means she's gone around Spinach, who's sitting in the sin bin. And that's the jam. Queen Bees came out of that with 13. The Swarm came out of that with 9. 20 points the difference. 9.5 minutes left in this half. It's... whoa.
So awesome. Craig Weinheimer is just asking a few questions to our referees.
Big shout out to Adelaide Showgrounds and official sponsors and VRDL Skates, who has sponsored TGSS ever since the initial TGSS and have followed us all the way through. And I think TGSS might be the largest roller derby competition in the world.
I think
48 teams.
Yep.
3 days, 5 tracks.
Fantastic. Also, VRDL, did you know this? They've been around for over 70 years.
Well, 70 years ago, was that? Well, what are we talking about? Some sandals and some rocks on the bottom of your sandals.
Like, yeah.
The first
Freddie
ever roller
type action.
That's exactly right. First ever roller skates.
Mm-hmm.
Just some sandals with rocks on the bottom.
Shout out to VRDL.
Shout out to sandals.
Shout out Freddie Flintstone if you're watching at home on YouTube.
Okay, we do have a little conference going on. If you're wondering why all the plays stopped and all the action's exciting your home, it's because the refs are busy chatting about things. They're just having a quick little old conference going, did you see that? Nah. Some people are shaking heads. Nah, definitely didn't see that.
You've always got a couple of referees that always look animated and the rest of them kind of look at each other. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're just waiting for their turn to talk.
Can't get a word in edgeways in there, you can tell.
So, did you hear it's Harry Spotter's last TGSS? He's hanging up the boots.
No way.
Yeah, that guy's been around longer than VRDL. He's 78 million years old and has been playing derby since he was 1.
He doesn't look a day over 80 million.
No, I know. And he's going to go into, I think he's been in Superman training to become the next Australian top ninja or something. But whatever he's doing, good luck to him. He's certainly helped Australian roller derby get off its feet, and he has been one of the most outstanding referees that Australia has ever seen.
A very strong individual too. I'm always seeing him on Instagram. Posting his workout photos, very strong.
Yeah, he doesn't do chin-ups. He pulls the bars down to him. Chuck Norris style. He pushes the world away. He doesn't do push-ups.
Well, aiming to be anything like Chuck Norris is that's a high standard of living.
Not even Chuck Norris can live up to his own standard. Great tunes going on in the background. This crowd is absolutely electric. So Ella Edwards looks like she is on the jam line. Sunstate look like they're fielding Alice Affliction.
The one and only Alice Affliction, originally from Gold Coast Roller Derby, my old stomping ground.
Okay. And it looks as though we've got quite possibly...
Thank you, Simon Chambers, for filling us in on what's happening on track.
He's a good communicator, that Simon Chambers. So Black Jammer's cut track was overturned, and hence why we're now seeing Alice Affliction joining on the jammer line with Ella Edwards. It's nice that they had a quick conference without doing an official review, just trying to make sure they got it right. Ella Edwards, however, doesn't care that Alice Affliction is over there and joining the game. She's just going to go over it now. Now we've got a forearms penalty going to Alice Affliction, so it's all Ella Edwards. And now she's got a power jam.
Mo Money back on track for the Swarm. She's the pivot for the Swarm. 5 more points to Victoria. Once again, fists are pumping on the Victorian bench. Still a power jam. Exceptional defensive work.
Ella Edwards calling it after grabbing the 5, whilst Alice Affliction is still in the sin bin. So a nice strategy there, grabbing a few points, grabbing 10 in fact, whilst the jammer is still in the bin. And so it's going to start off with Chops being the only jammer on the jam line going into this next jam. In a game this tight, you've really got to grab whatever points you can just to spread that distance apart.
Momentum could shift at any point. Look at the blockers crowding Chop on the line. Essex actually skating out of bounds, back on the track, getting in her face.
Now,
Chop says, I'm not having a part of that. I'm going to get that lead jammer status.
Exactly right. They try and swarm in over the top of her, but this is Chop Chop. She's no easy mark. She just skates out of there like the clubbers.
And as you can see, Alice Affliction is back on track. She's had that initial pass, chasing the points now. Holy moly, just skating inbounds.
Honey Collider just did collide with Alice Affliction there, and she went out on the inside edge, but just to be safe, I think Alice Affliction didn't want to get a cut track after all that mayhem of being in the bench for the last 2 jams.
Playing it safe. Wide stuff by Alice Affliction. Look at the defense, the brace defense. Chop Chop slips around the outside. Oh, Alice Affliction. No, that's No, who is that? Sorry.
Oh, I missed that.
That's Blockadole Dundee in the penalty box. I thought that might have
nice. Oh, whoa.
Did you see that? Real air straight through the middle of that pack. Checks with the bench. Instructions are keep on rolling.
So Chop Chop in a outside derby life is a chef, and I wonder if that's why her name's Chop Chop.
There you go.
Maybe she's like when she started off, she was a sous chef or something, chopping things up.
Mm-hmm. I think you put it all together.
Either way, on the track, she's a demon.
Blockadole Dundee back on track.
And making an impact straight off the bat there, nudging out number 93, which is Slappuccino, who now goes in there to rejoin the pack.
Oh, Blockadole heading back to the penalty box.
Oh.
That is a jam over. 4 more points on the last lap to Victoria. What about we are witnessing here on track 2, day 2 of the Great Southern Slam. Hello, everyone watching at home.
That's right. If you are tuning in live, there is some chats down the bottom. If you want to send us a message, if you want to let us know if you're listening from all the way around the world or whatnot, feel free to drop us a line. If you don't want to tell us that we're awesome, that's cool. If you want to tell us we're crap, just maybe keep it yourself.
Keep it yourself, please.
Gin and Jukes on the outside edge. Lead jammer goes to Gin and Jukes. Spinach is not far behind her.
She won't be denied. Oh, she's heading to the penalty box. That's a forearm penalty. Oh, no, just what Victoria needed.
Victoria is certainly going to want to capitalise on this 30 seconds. Gin and Jukes, 5 points on the board, and she's going to quickly make sure that she's all the way around that track ready to put some more points on the board because Spinach is not the only Sun State player in the sin bin right now as a 4-11 comes back into play. Blockadole Dundee, but not before Gin and Jukes can take that extra point for her being in the sin bin.
Gin and Jukes slowing down now. Some handy defense by the Swarm. Rutland Bones organising that defense out front. Gin and Jukes takes on number 99, Mo Money.
The sin bin has emptied itself and Spinach has rejoined the fray completely surrounded. I was about to say completely surrounded by VRDLBs, but not at all.
Hot stepping around the outside. That's the initial pass for Spinach. Throwing the proverbial cat amongst the pigeons, and that is jam over. 5 more points on the last lap to Victoria. The score ticking over for them. 4.5 minutes left on the clock.
You know, I was thinking about this possible eventuation of Sun State meeting up with the Queen Bees at some stage, and it's the Swarm versus the Bees. Is there a bit of a clash here? I mean,
bit of a common theme.
Yeah.
Someone should have copyrighted.
Okay, excuse me, mate. We're the original Bees, okay? Lucky there's not a big bee walking around in a costume at the moment. That would be confusing. Ella Edwards, lead jammer for VRDL. Straight out of the gates there. Very, very strong start.
Once again, Victoria getting that elusive lead jammer status.
Looks like a multiplayer block also going over there. Can't see who that is. Looks like Pie Curious 314 making her way the pivot to the sideline. Otherwise known as sin bin.
Look at that defense by 180 SX digging in the toe stops. Indigo Fury getting involved as well. Ella calls off the jam. SX puts one more block on, and that is jam over.
Just in time, too, because Alice was almost about to get in there and start putting some points on the board. But 4-4 that last jam, so equals Queen Bees have managed to stretch that lead out. Now we're looking at a 50-point lead.
That is a handy, handy lead leading. We're in the shadows of halftime.
It's certainly a nice, favourable thing to enter into halftime with, but it's certainly no game-winning margin at this juncture.
Spinach like a flash, like a ninja, holds that inside line. She is lead jammer for the Swarm. Oh, check out that skating style by the famous Chop Chop. Getting through for our initial pass. Hello, Steve, watching from the UK. Shout out to the Adelaide Roller Derby. Thank you for streaming this long weekend.
Thanks for tuning in, Steve, all the way from the UK. It's our honour to share it, I think, here in Adelaide.
Sharing is caring in the great sport of roller derby. More points to the Sun State Roller, I was going to say Girls League. I can't say girls, they are not girls. They are fully grown women on track. At least women.
So, coming around the corner, Chop Chop, looking to put some points on the ball. Massive hit there by number 17, Sasson, by knocks Chop Chop off her feet. No pack call, so everyone's going to have to get back and get a bit more cosy because Chop Chop's at the back, Spinach is coming around, looking to put some more points on the board.
2 blockers in the penalty box for Victoria. We're getting low on time but high on excitement here. Just under 1.5 minutes left in this half.
Multiplayer block going to number 84. That's BA, ex-Sun State player, now sitting down. Spinach is, before you look at it, she's making points and all of a sudden she's in the back of the pack again. She's so quick and so versatile and so good at just packing on the points.
And there you go, once again, breaching the pack. 5 more points to Sun State. Some handy points leading into halftime. We are under 1 minute left in this half.
This is certainly what they needed. They've just narrowed that margin. As soon as we said 50 points going into the halftime, it's not going to be 50 points going into the halftime because Spinach had something to say about that.
I think they heard us. We'll show you, Chief and Temp. We'll show you, Johnny Smash,
exactly
what we're made of.
What are you, commentating the pass? Get with the now, brothers. All right, so looking at that, it is now not even half-time. 27 seconds left on the clock, in the period clock. 27 points in that jam to 12. We're now looking at a 36-point lead, 14-point margin, 15-point margin made up just then, as we were talking crap to you guys.
Is that Beowulf lining up on the jammer line for Victoria? We have an official timeout happening.
Well, something needs to stop that clock because it was ticking ever closer down to the 0.
Oh, Honest Dave pumping the heavy metal here. Getting us all pumped for a big, big second half.
He loves a bit of metal.
Honest Dave, he's a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, all class. Our in-house announcer.
That's right.
The hardest working man in a roller derby.
That's exactly right. He gets around too. He's gone to many a tournament around the world, the old Dave.
He's gone viral.
And I'm pretty sure he's worn that same suit to every single one of them. Blue, powder blue suit, famous, almost as famous as he is, and his mustard suit as well. I reckon he's got his mustard suit commentating somewhere else right now for him. Great man, the old Dave. Just came off track 3 with Dave, actually, mind you. It's really nice after a couple of years to come back and see familiar commentating faces that you haven't seen for 2 years since last TGSS and just pick up your friendship where you left off.
2 years have passed and it's just like nothing.
Nah, exactly.
Beowulf lining up for Victoria. The one and only Alice Affliction back on the jammer line for the Swarm.
This is going to be interesting to see. Alice Affliction jumping the apex, not quite making it. She's now going to have to crawl back in. It's Beowulf who's come off this. Nice big hit, but she doesn't have to worry about no pass, no penalty. Number 180 is now going to get, I think, a blocking out of play penalty as she makes her way to the sin bin. It's Beowulf who, lead jammer? She did get lead jammer. So got the lead jammer before the no pass, no penalty, which is really great news for the Queen Bees because it gives her the power because the period clock is out.
5 more points in the meantime. Alice Affliction made to earn her initial pass the hard way.
Backwards.
Backwards.
And Beowulf calling it.
Slips around Mo Money, and that is jam over. Possibly that is half time.
Official review looks like it's going to Sun State.
Oh, hey now.
So they get one official review per half, don't they? And then it gets replenished at halftime.
Yeah. No, if you win your official review, you keep that official review
What if you
for
don't,
the half, but you only get one per half.
Per half. So even if they don't win it, they've got one coming up anyway. Might as well use it now. Look, I don't know why I always keep asking my co-commentators these questions that I also don't know. I think it's to deflect the fact that my rules knowledge is tip-top.
I'm sure Jared Quinn will answer that question for us.
Yeah.
More distinctly, is that a word?
Succinctly?
Succinctly, with an S, not a D.
Yeah. Yeah, look. Who cares?
We're moving on. We've left that behind us.
Official review, one way or the other, Sun State's using it. And it looks like the official on track right now is trying to tell us that she loves us. No. She loves Sun State.
Sun State dominate.
I love Sun State.
Turtles.
Okay, that's a bit biased, but whatever. That's okay. I love.
Back block on the white jammer from the very end of that jam on the back straight away.
Okay, thank you very much, Psycho Dyko, delivering us the news from the official review. So Sun State are looking for a back block on VRDL jammer right at the end of that jam, which will of course put the jammer out, if found in their favour, will put their jammer out for the first jam coming into the second half.
Oh
no!
Did not win that one.
Psycho Dyko is doing these ones. And we have to trust her because she's in a Superman onesie.
Asking for a back block on white jammer on this second square pass. 4 refs saw it, believe that
Thank you, Simon Chambers, filling us in. He's a great communicator.
He is a great communicator.
So Sun State chasing a potential back block penalty. They were denied, so both jammers will kick off the first jam in the second half, both on track. So the score remains the same as well. That is the score, 168 points to the Queen Bees, 123 points to the Swarm.
It's 15 minutes in between now and when the action starts, so get everything done that you're going to need to. We'll be back soon to fill you in on what's going to happen in this second half of this exciting adventure.
Cannot wait, my friends. See you then.
So, 46 seconds left before this second half starts. What a first half we had, Johnny.
Fantastic work. The kind of a half you would expect between these two teams. The Swarm taking on the Queen Bees. Holy moly, it's been a lot of fun calling this one as well. The Sun State Roller Derby League, all-inclusive now, taking on the Victorian team, Queen Bees. I hope you enjoyed the vision online.
That's right. You're not going to want to miss this one because it's a real cracker of a game, and I'm sure you can go back later on, and if you are in fact in the later on going back, welcome. but live is probably the best way to see this because you know that the results haven't been fashioned yet. So Spinach, Ella Edwards lining up on the jam line, ready for this second half. We saw them start like this in the first half, both pretty evenly matched. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we start here. We've got one blocker in the bin, so a little bit of blocking superiority to Sun State, but it may or may not even have any bearing on anything.
Yeah, it's a tantalising matchup between these jammers. How did Spinach stay on track? She didn't stay on track. That's a cutting penalty. Straight away, we have a power jam to the mighty Victorian Derby League.
From here it was really hard to tell, but it looked like she's got some very fancy footwork, Spinach. I just think this time it just didn't work out for her. Ella Edwards, however, is through, and the lead jammer, no one is lead jammer at this stage. It's a lot of people getting all over the place. A lot of Sun State on the track at the moment, and certainly containing Ella Edwards and doing a fantastic job doing so.
That's Essex, Blockadal, Mo Money and Blockadal Dundee out front. Indigo Fury bridging this pack. Oh, check out Spinach. She is back on track. Runs into that trio of doom. Defensive blocking out the back. Ella chasing the points out front. She is not lead jammer, so this jam will be going the full hog, the full 2 minutes.
Spinach, however, is through now and done her initial pass. 5 fingers up in the air for Ella. So Ella has 5 points on the board, but nobody is the lead jammer. So we're going to see this jam go all the way out until there's no more seconds left, and there's 22 currently on the clock. So it's now just a battle of speed, and we can see if Spinach can wind it back here. Spinach is very versatile and very quick and jumpy, so she might be able to pull out some points right at the last minute.
Modern Warfare was bridging the pack. Now this pack is tightening up, so she joins in the blocking out front. Whistles blowing to indicate that is time up on that jam.
2 to 3. So that means that 6 to 8 on that the first jam in on second period here.
You are right, Pickles. No league, just Sun State Roller Derby. One too many words in my statement earlier.
It seems as though there's a cut track happening here, but no one has a penalty, or maybe they were just conferring amongst themselves because no one certainly seems to look like they're being sent off. Chop Chop is doing lots of fancy move, but still at the back of a whole bunch of Sun State jammers. And the other jammer in the front there, Alice Affliction, is right there in the middle.
Chop Chop breaches the pack in usual Chop Chop style.
Chopping it up.
Chopping it up. Alice Affliction hit and spin action through for her initial pass. Rocking the visor. Both jammers rocking the visor. 4 more points to Victoria via Chop Chop. Here comes Alice Affliction attacking that blue and white trio of defensive doom.
Alice Affliction just pushing her way through a good, solid VRDL 3 wall, which is not an easy feat. Just finding that weak link in their arms and just pushing away through there. Great work by Alice Affliction.
Sass and Bite finds herself in the penalty box. Alice Affliction cops a jarring block.
Honey Collider, great work in actually making Alice Affliction skate back then and recycling. She was going to try and do a little quick one, but Honey just did not let that happen and recycled it all the way back around the last two corners.
Rattling Bones with a big shoulder. Chop Chop says, I've had enough of that. I'll call that jam off, score 2 points.
Yep. It's going to take too long to swing around and see if I can get some more points. Might as well cool it off.
Gin and Jukes lining up on the jam line for Victoria. Spinach to her right, back on track.
Two very different styles of jamming, these two jammers, Gin and Jukes and Spinach. Spinach is small and quick and very versatile. Gin and Jukes, quite a strong jammer with a lot of power behind her. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Sun State running with one less blocker on the track at the moment. Gin and Jukes gets shirt fronted by numbers 23. That was a fantastic
Indigo Fury with a big hit.
Fury showing the might. It is Spinach, however, with the lead jammer and the finger in the air there.
Indigo Fury has found herself in the penalty box. Gin and Jukes has gotten through for and her initial pass. All blockers on track for Victoria, slowing it right down. Gin and Jukes holds that inside line like she was on rails.
Everyone else was so distracted with Spinach that Gin and Jukes just flies on through.
Gin and Jukes attacking that black and gold walls. Runs straight into SX. Slips around. Sass and Bite.
Cut track being sent to Gin and Jukes. She's now making her way out there to the sin bin. So it is Spinach with a little bit of an edge now and going to be looking to make up some points as she gets four points now for Sun State.
The reason Gin and Jukes is off the track is because fantastic Sun State defense, famous Sun State defense. Spinach around the outside. Nicely done, the full 5 points.
Great work there by Sun State. 5 fingers up in the air. Two very strong defensive teams, but also long lineups of jammers in both these two teams as well. So it's such an interesting matchup. These two always great matchups.
Gin and Jukes, as you can see, Roller Derby fans, is back on track. Runs straight into Sass and Bite, but keeps on trucking. Scores 4 points to herself and her team.
Spinach putting more points on the board. Just having a quick conference. I'm not too sure who she's talking to. She might be talking to Simon there. 4 points on the board for Gin and Jukes. A lot of action coming from both those two benches and trying to, I think, grab it and call it.
You can see that Spinach mid-air calling off the jam. 4 more points scored. And another exciting jam.
Fantastic work there by Spinach to grab those 4 and leave VRDL with 0. They were very, very close. Gin and Jukes almost had herself another 4 as well.
Roller Derby fans, you can check out the score. It's right in front of you, 198 points. I thought I was in-house calling for a while. There is a score on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. 198 points to the Queen Bees, 164 points to the Swarm. Alice Affliction
leads jammer to Sun State.
Tripitaka.
It's not much of a lead, though. It's probably about 4 or 5 feet. Tripitaka's right there in the back, and Sun State are in the back. So the easy points are going to come to Tripitaka. Not that I'd call any of these points easy, mind you. No pass, no penalty being called by Pombat. Gonna guess he's English.
That was...
Oh, some really good defense coming in from
defense.
VRDL and just pushing Alice Affliction out, using Pie Curious as almost just a pushing stick. And skirting her out there.
Look at this fantastic brace defense.
Tripitaka comes around the outside edge. Great work. 4 points on the board for the Bees.
Alice Affliction just skated out of bounds. Rolling right back. Reverse bridging. Oh, Tripitaka runs into the ominous Rattling Bones.
And I think some of her bones definitely got rattled in that transaction.
Rattling Bones must have some sort of rugby league, rugby union background. Oh, once again, she's the one copping the hits at the back of the defensive wall.
Tripitaka as well took the last year off to coach the juniors for VRDL, and has come back just recently. And I must admit, coming back in great style. 5 points on the boards for Queen Bees.
And that is jam over. 4 points scored to Alice Affliction on that last lap. Holy moly, we are watching some awesome roller derby. Hard to believe we're only not even 9 minutes into this second half.
We've had some twos and fros. Sun State, big gap. Queen Bees made up another 10 just then. But we're currently looking 168 to 212, just 6 points shy of 50. Makes it 44 points the difference.
That's how I work it out too. You take that up and you take a little bit off and
yeah, and you talk to try and fill the gap until you can make up the sums in your head. Okay,
don't let the viewers know all our tricks.
That's right. And then now going to be like, hang on, he was talking real slowly there for a second. Spinach, lead jammer, Ella, only half a lap behind. Spinach is keeping it. Did you see that? Spinach tried to climb over one of the Victorian jam blockers. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed.
Spinach must have some sort of rock climbing background. You can fill us in watching at home.
Yeah, she just tried to climb over. I'm not too sure who the blocker was, but I'm pretty sure you can't just climb over the top.
Look at this defense out front by the likes of number 99, Mo Money.
Mo Money.
More money and more problems, or less problems for the Sun State Roller Girls.
Spinach aware that
Derby.
she's crossed that outside
Lead.
edge as she probably felt the rope underneath
Not
her
lead, Derby.
wheels.
Oh, my lordy.
Oh, my Lord.
I'll get it right one day.
Okay, 5 fingers in the air for Spinach. So it's Sun State's turn to take the lead and put some more points on the board. Slim's top being stretched and pulled. And that was Billy for number 17 for the Queen Bees taking a seat. Not too sure what the penalty was, but we now have a very Sun State dominant pack out there, and it's certainly not going to do VRDL any good because Ella's now being kept out back. And do you know what? Spinach is being incredibly well held up there by number 36, which is Slim Hurton, and I think it's BA with the pivot on. But that was really good to hold up Spinach for the time they did when they only had.
Oh! Did you see that, Chief? Big apex jump, Spinach.
How could you not see it? She practically jumped and hit the rafters.
Both jammers scoring points on that last lap, 4 points apiece. That is another exciting jam.
What did I say the margin was? 44 or something?
Did you feel 30. that was the momentum shifting toward the swarm?
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K, and 30 points the difference now. Wow. And look, you just cannot take anything for granted in a game like this. We've got 18 minutes. 30 points is nothing. That last jam had 22 points in it, and that's in 2 minutes. So times that by 9. 9 times 22, 198. Look at that mathematical skills. Cecilia. Oh, I like this track. I'm busy. We got a phone in hand. Shazam it. I'm talking to the internet. I've got Lady Trample over here trying to tell me to Shazam some song. I'm like, I've got a job to do. You're just sitting on the sidelines with your phone in the hand. Tune into YouTube. You can hear me saying it. I'm giving you crap, all right? I'm giving you crap. Just Shazam. Just Shazam. It's an app. Just do it. No one's there. I'm busy.
Lady Trample's just been hounding us all game.
I know.
Trying to get our attention.
So cheeky. She's been following me around all TGSS. It's probably because I've been commentating all the VRDL games, but sure. So, Beowulf, Alice Affliction, both on the jam line, lining down to have a look There's one blocker in the bin, and that is a Sun State blocker, so only a slight advantage to VRDL. But don't tell Alice Affliction that. Beowulf already knows it. Lead jammer going to VRDL. Forearms penalty to VRDL blocker.
I thought Alice was rolling into the penalty box. She's just resetting at the back of the pack. Oh, now she's heading to the penalty box. We have a power jam to Victoria. SX is released from the penalty box, so all.
So Beowulf, they haven't jammed her much in this game, but she has been very effective in the tournament so far. They might have been resting her. It's hard to tell. That's another 5 points on the board.
Reversing around the pack, scoring points.
They may have just been icing her to hold her off for the last 20 minutes and have a real fresh jammer ready to go, because she certainly do a lot of damage out there.
SX and Indigo Fury with some awesome defense. Jam over 4 points scored to Victoria. 5 points, make that 5 points. There is a fumble.
Indigo, these skaters are putting it in. They're not just out there phoning these things in. This is every single jam is everything they've got.
So we're kicking this jam off as a power jam. Only briefly though, Alice is standing up in the penalty box. Check out those blockers once again. Rolling back on cue. Alice has got to skate in behind Billy. Takes on that blue and white wall. Chop Chop with an assignment herself, trying to get through that Sun State defense.
And does so. Lead jammer goes to Chop Chop. Alice Affliction still caught up in the back. Now the rest of the swarm are coming back in to give her a bit of a hand. But before they know it, Chop Chop's come all the way around and she's ready to put some points on the board.
Rattling Bones has put some big hits on. A bit of shimmy action by Chop Chop. Getting around those blockers, adjusting her elbow guard with style, scores the points for Victoria. Alice Affliction being well and truly held up temporarily, getting through for her initial pass.
Wow, it has taken for almost a minute to get through for Alice Affliction. That is very unlike her. She's usually straight on through, doing some fancy dance moves. 3 points going to Sun State, 2 from VRDL, but all up that is a 7-point jam for the Queen Bees, I believe. We're now currently looking at almost 50 in front, so 49 points in front. Yeah.
And the Queen Bees extending their lead just as the Swarm had a sniff. And the momentum started shifting their way back to the Queen Bees now. Still plenty of time left in the second half.
There is definitely still plenty of time left. 50 points can be made up like that. So someone's taken a team timeout. Looks like the Queen Bees have. Gin and Jukes just having a quick chat to her skaters on track, because we're currently sitting with it looks like BA and Honey Collider, or maybe just BA in the sin bin. I'm not too sure. Only BA is sitting, but we have got 2 Sun State players in the sin bin. One of them happens to be the jammer.
And it's good to see Rosie working the bench for Victoria. Always has a fantastic outfit on. Always coordinated, fashion coordinated.
Yeah. Ella Edwards on the jam line.
Ella is the lone jammer on track. We're going to ease back into this bout. Still 15 minutes left. Rolling back. Other blockers for Sun State. SX. Baruka Assault. And Spinach doing some blocking by the looks of it.
Ella Edwards being met every step of the way by Sun State Swarm. Spinach coming around is a pivot to try and assist, but not in time because Ella is through and lead jammer.
Check out the blockers for Victoria. They are all on track, slowing it right down. getting involved now with some handy offensive work, and Ella breaches the pack for 5 more points.
Great work there by Ella.
Mass exodus out of the penalty box for Sun State. Oh, a handy star pass to Spinach. That's the initial pass for them. No point scored. Some handy defense also from SX on Ella. And that is jam over. 1 point scored on the last lap to Victoria. And that's the end of that jam. Still 14 minutes left.
14 minutes left, but 50-something points. That's it. I'm retiring my mathematic brain. So now Spinach is coming out for realsies, not just for in the star passing capacity, up against Gin and Jukes. Honey Collider, the only one in the sin bin. See how this pans out straight away. Spinach right through the middle. Gin and Jukes still trying to make her way through, and it looks like she's about to, and there she goes. Gin and Jukes getting a cut track. This is a real opportunity here for Spinach, and she's certainly taken the mantle up for herself. 5 points and 30 seconds on the clock as the only jammer.
And Spinach determined not to waste any points, or wasting points eats up the clock. Wasting points eats up the clock. There you go, wasting. Anyway.
That'd be a good derby name,
You know
wasting
what I mean.
points.
You essentially know what I mean.
I definitely know what you mean, Johnny Smash. Number 7, 5 points on the board, Spinach. So we're talking with 10 unanswered points now.
Gin and Jukes is back on track, as you can see, looking for a gap, runs into Indigo Fury.
It almost looks like the entire VRDL team is right there ready to push out Spinach. But Gin and Jukes not only back on track, but it seems like she's back in the zone because she's flying around and she's ready to put some points on the board. Only number 87 and 20. So Indigo Fury and Veruca Salt, the only one standing in Gin and Jukes' way, and just then just gets through.
Gin and Jukes whips herself through.
Again, 5 points on both hands. I don't know how that happens.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting concept.
It is weird, isn't it? We were talking earlier on about what happens if the entire team gets fouled out. With no one to pass. Anyone out there in the internet, let us know.
There you go. That is jam over. Spinach calling that one off. She can jam. She can pivot. She can do anything.
She can do anything she wants to. Alice Affliction. Trippy. Trippataka. Don't do it. Oh, Monkey Code. I love Monkey. So, Tripitaka, 108. Alice Affliction, 6. Everyone's coming in to crowd that jam plate. Tripitaka, however, just slides her way around on the inside edge, and it's all hers. Alice Affliction still caught up, although they are only at the first turn.
You and I were on the perfect angle to see that initial pass. Alice Affliction tracing her initial pass. Not an easy assignment. Another big gap down that inside line for Tripitaka to just skate on through. 5 more points.
And she is doing so freely because Alice Affliction still hasn't made her initial pass. So Tripitaka, 5 points on the board, and now comes into a good, strong Sun State 3-wall.
Number 99, Mo Money, trying to open that gap up for Alice Affliction. Talking about opening up gaps, that's a big gap for Tripitaka to score 5 more points. Alice with some hot stepping, getting through for her initial pass for the Swarm.
These bees have got a real variety in the way that their jammers attack the track. And very, very different jammers, from Gin and Juke to Tripitaka and to Chop Chop. All very different styles. So Sun State are doing a fantastic job to mould and block and defend against all those different styles.
Oh, Tripitaka skating in behind Sass and Bite. Rattling Bones heads to the penalty box. Look at the defense, Victorian defense out front. Alice Affliction made to earn her points the very, very hard way.
One at a time. So We're okay. Defense out there doing great job on both these two teams.
Now it's Mo Money out front, joined by Veruca Assault Sun State with a very, very tough 2-all out front. Alice Affliction gets knocked inbounds, almost tripping over her own skater. No, she has to skate to the back of the pack. Tripitaka, perseverance once again paying off. And that is jam over, and we have a team timeout.
Sassenbite looks like she's taken a bit of a hit. She shook it off with someone to check her in. I think she's okay. She might have just gotten a bit knocked about. Big shout out to the NSOs out there. Thanks for letting us reminding us about that, Millie, because NSOs are an absolutely vital part to the running of any game all the way across the world. It does not happen unless there are NSOs there to make it happen. So massive shout out to the NSOs. We'd be lost without you.
And a big shout out to all the referees, as I like to say, black and white, and they are out of sight, the referees, keeping us all in line.
Yeah. 212 to 272. The Queen Bees have stretched it out by 60 points. A nice and easy mathematical equation to try and figure out there. But 60 points, they have done so. We've cracked through the 10-minute mark. We're in the middle of a team timeout by the Swarm. And so Sun State are just doing a bit of a conference. Probably going to try and come back in here, take a little bit of a tactic, executing Mission Plan Alpha or some kind of secret move that they've worked on prior to coming to TGSS.
Chop, chop, and spinach.
Chop, chop the spinach.
Chop, chop. Sorry. And spinach. I'll begin to slur my words because I'm so excited. Chop, chop. Tries to luck her on the outside. She is successful. Gets knocked out of bounds.
Good work there by number 2. And
Harry
that's Harry
Smiles.
Smiles in a defensive role. Doing a fantastic job there. Just tapping Chop, chop out.
Spinach is through for her initial pass. No point scored. Chop Chop gets through. She is the lead jammer, calls off the jam.
So good work there by Chop Chop. Got the initial jammer and then calling it off. No points on either team.
I'm anticipating once again. Probably no. I thought it might have been a team timeout. 2 Sun State blockers making their way back on track. Spinach lining up against Beowulf. Did I say that right?
No, I think it's Beowulf.
Beowulf, I was totally wrong.
Well, it could be Beowulf. I might have been saying it wrong all weekend, actually.
Beowulf, like Scott Baio.
I think so, yeah. That's the historical figure, Beowulf.
And like Chachi, Beowulf is in charge. She is lead jammer.
Scott Beowulf. Now we're talking about a name. So, Spinach out the front there, but not lead jammer. Hit it and quit it, Beowulf.
The old hit it and quit it combination.
The original Beowulf was spelt with an E, I believe. It was Beowulf, Beowulf. But
yeah,
I hope we're saying it right. Thanks, Steve, giving us a big shout-out to us. And a big shout-out to everyone tuning in and listening to us right now. You're probably the same place we are, which is super excited because this game it's awesome.
Oh, we have 790 Patch, a late addition to our roster, jamming for the first time for the Swarm.
And this is just changing it up, yes. Now, we haven't seen much of Patch, but she is certainly giving it a good, red-hot old go. Gina Jukes, though, manages to find a bit of the inside edge and gets the lead jammer.
She slips around Harry, Smiles. Patch still trying to get through, pushing, looking for love in all the wrong places.
Like in the glove box.
Tough defense by both sets of blockers. Clock winding down. We're under 7 minutes left in this second half.
We have almost standstill over there with that VRDL 3 wall, and 790 Patch is now getting recycled, and they're going to really punish her and make it go all the way back. But we've got the splittiest of packs. I don't know if you can call this a pack. They're pretty much spread out all the way across the track at the moment. Gin and Jukes also getting recycled.
Yeah, that was a nice hit by Harry Smiles, putting Gin and Jukes into the centre of the track.
So a lot of recycling, a lot of being held up, and not a lot of movement. Gin and Jukes is the lead jammer, but we're still on 0 all.
Fantastic defensive work once again by Rattle Bones. Unfortunately, she is heading to the penalty box for the Swarm.
It's going to give Gin and Jukes a slight advantage in numbers. Oh, she's tapped her foot out on the inside. Another recycling situation going to happen here. So another Sun State jammer. So Harry Smiles is now also making her way to the sin bin. This is definitely giving Sun State a disadvantage when it comes to the amount of blockers on track. But I tell you what, for a team that supposedly had the numbers against them, they did a fantastic job there, holding that to a 5-0 jam.
Check it out, 108 back on track, jamming Tripitaka.
Tripitaka up against Spinach.
2 blockers still in the penalty box for the Swarm. So the lone blockers on track are Mo Money and the one and only Sasson Bite, number 17. Right on cue once again, the blockers rolling back, crowding our jammers.
Tripitaka tries to repeat one of the earlier jams where she goes around on the inside by doing a little dance and then skating on the inside edge, but unable to do so as the blockers just jumped in there to stop her. So it is Spinach who has the lead jammer here, but Tripitaka is pretty much standing on her back.
Spinach not calling off the jam, trusting her blockers to do a fantastic job, and they have. Harry Smiles back on track. Oh, fantastic skating. I'm sure there's a technical term for that type of skating, but I'm going to call it fantastic.
That is technical enough for me.
Look at Tripitaka running into Rattlin' Bones. Harry Smiles taking a shot at her.
Uh-oh, Tripitaka's making her way off. What was that? That looked like a forearms penalty. This is going to give Spinach a distinct advantage. No, she's also got a forearms penalty. So that's both of them off in quick succession. So Tripitaka is back on, but not for long by herself.
Rolling right in behind her own blockers. Keep an eye on Spinach. Slowly skating back on.
Spinach doing this face push thing that is pretty effective. She got there.
Oh, Tripitaka.
Spinach uses her head not as a blocking instrument, but it's sort of like a weird attachment sometimes when she pushes her way through. I've seen her head do things that I'm just like, I'm pretty sure heads aren't meant to do that.
Tripitaka is in the penalty box, so we have a Swarm power jam.
We do, but the Swarm isn't in charge. Don't tell them that, mind you, because they are swarming all over those bees. But they cannot call it off. We've still got 8 seconds left in this jam, which is probably going to leave us. No, Tripitaka is managed to get out just in time, which means we're going to start with 2 jammers at the start of the next jam.
Did you see Harry Smiles got some big hits in the center of that pack? She wanted to bridge. All I want to do is bridge.
She should join a bridge club. 2 minutes, 38 seconds left in this game. I think the bees might be just out of reach now. Now, they've stayed sort of roughly this distance for quite some time. We're looking at a 60-point differential with only about 2 minutes 25. It's not out of the realms of physics impossibility, but we'll have to wait and see. So,
here we got jamming Alice Affliction for the Sun State team.
Up against Beowulf or Beowulf, depending on how she pronounces it. We do have a lead jammer in there, and it's a cut track at the same time. Alice Affliction getting sent off for both that. So lead jammer and then getting sent off. That means we're going to run the full 2 minutes, which is going to bring us down to the last 20 seconds of the game.
Tight. So, yeah, we're going 2 minutes. Beowulf is the lone jammer on track.
She's going to watch this later, and this is going to be the most excruciating thing for her. She's going to be like, got it wrong. You got it wrong. You got it wrong again.
Don't give her my email address.
No, I won't. JohnnySmash@hotmail.com. Don't worry about it.
5 more points to Victoria. Victoria finishing strong. Oh, they've been strong all about, not just finishing strong,
Well,
constantly being strong.
Yeah, well, they didn't exclude them from finishing strong. They've just been strong throughout the game. Both these two teams.
Oh!
What is going on
What
there?
happened there? Alice Affliction with some Jordan-esque type air.
That
Or anyone a bit younger.
That was a lot of air.
A lot of air. Some LeBron James type air. For anyone who doesn't remember the good old days of basketball.
Yeah, Virgin Airlines. No, yeah. Anyway, rather let's move on. We have 5 points going on, 30 seconds on the jam clock, which is going to wind up. We've got both teams with an official review left.
Count it down with us. We're down to 43 seconds.
And Queen Bees have got a couple of timeouts up their sleeve as well. They may want to extend it out to see if we can get some sort of point differential going. They may not.
Alice Affliction with some real strong skating, getting through and scoring points for the Swarm. Sun State Roller Derby.
Sun State Roller Derby.
Finally got it right. Finally sunk into my thick noggin. There you go. You called it.
There we go. The official review is being used, and Sun State, they're not mincing words. They're using the official review as a timeout. So
why not take the opportunity?
Yeah, they're not gonna muck around by going out there and like, oh, we'd like to check the colour of your shoes, you know, that sort of bizzo. So they are just going to use it as a team timeout, and rightfully so. Let's stop that clock and have one killer last jam. You know what I mean? These two epic titans of teams need to be able to go out there and just put one more jam on the clock before they put this one to bed.
Oh, you've built it up to a staggering point. One more jam.
One more jam.
Is that a Journey song?
I don't know.
It could have been.
It could have been so beautiful if it was sung by someone else. And official review out there, the official out there with the love heart symbol. I love. Will she love? She loves. Nobody.
No one. Oh!
She loves those guys over there.
Thank you for everyone watching at home. Steve, hello Steve. Millie JC.
I've already done that shout out to the NSOs. It's all right.
Yeah. NSOs.
Yep.
All in black like Johnny Cash here at the Great Southern Slam. Honest Dave just whipping this crowd into an absolute frenzy, which will be our last jam.
Spinach, Gin and Jukes, our very last jam between these two for another 2 years. It's Spinach. She gets a chance to just screw it in there for 2 more minutes. And her bench coach is just going, you know what, Spinach?
Nice.
You want to go for it, you go for it. You minimize this margin. You get as many points as you can, and we'll just see how this plays out.
I like that move by Sun State. Spinach is taking on the assignment, the tough assignment of scoring the points against Victoria.
Yeah, if anyone can do it, Spinach can. She's had an absolutely gun of a weekend, and it's still not over. She's out there piling on the points at the moment. Only people standing in her way are VRDL.
Nicely done, slips around the outside. Spinach just keeps on trucking, keeps on scoring points. Gin and Jukes runs into Sass and Bite. And Harry Smiles, she also keeps on rolling 4 more points to her. This crowd is getting loud.
Spinach looking for a whip, looking for any way to get around. She's eager. She tries to find the inside line. Don't know if she can. She got the cut track. Her skate just tapped out on the inside edge. She's going to be a bit upset, but that's okay. Jen and Jukes is the one who's going to walk this around. That cut track came in at about 42 seconds. She's got about 12 seconds when she gets back on the track. Spinach is going to try and utilise that time as best as she can.
Half a minute left on the clock.
In the meantime, 5 points on the board for Jen and Jukes.
Harry Smiles puts a little handy shoulder on. Oh, rattling bones. She loves physical roller derby. She's had a big bout. 5 more points to the Victorian team.
That's right. She is living up to her name and rattling the bones of the Jammers. Here comes Spinach. We've got now 5 seconds on the clock. Is there enough time to do anything? She's certainly passed some VRDL skaters, so she might be able to do that. And 4 points on the board going to Spinach. And Gin, 27 points on the board.
A rousing round of applause for these two teams in this Division 1 contest. here on the Glennis Nunchucker Track 2 at the Great Southern Slam. Holy H. Moly, Chief.
What an epic game. Johnny Smash has been an absolute pleasure calling this game with you. First game I've been able to call with you this year, and boy, what a good one to do it on.
It was a whole lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it at home watching us on the YouTube thingy. Once again, I don't want to get too technical.
What you kids are into these days with your emojis and your
You young'uns.
YouTubes.
Thank you for everyone for sending us loving messages. Predominantly loving.
Yeah,
Mostly loving.
mostly. There's a song in that, Mostly Loving You.
Willie Nelson, I think, would love to do that. Oh, we got a bridge happening.
We do have a bridge happening, and this is an ultimate sign of respect. And you know what? We'll see you out. This has been such a great game. And I'm going to, look, let's go through the Sun State team because they're worth mentioning. They've done such a great job. And let's just give them a bit of a whirl.
Sun State Roller Derby, I finally got it right. No league there. Sun State Swarm is 0-2 Harry Smiles, 1-1 run, 1-1-1. Too many ones there. 1-1-1. Let's start again. Rattling Bones, 17 is Sassenbite, 180 SX, 206 Maiden Hell, 23 is the one and only Indigo Fury, 411 Blockadol Dundee, 6 is Alice Affliction, 7 is Spinach, 87 Veruca Assault, 99 Mole Money. And working the bench we have Brad, Craig, Duncan Manuts, and a big shout out to Zach. Hello, Zach.
And the winners of tonight's epic fight, epic battle, the Victorian Roller Derby League Queen Bees, Honey Collider, Modern Warfare, Tripitaka, Chop Chop, Ella Edwards, Victoria Beater, Billy, Gin and Jukes, Beowulf,
She's in charge.
whoever she is, she was here doing great stuff. By Curious, Slim Hurton, Betty Doom, Darling, B.A., Slappuccino. I've been Chief Intent.
And believe it or not, I have been Johnny Smash. Whole lot of fun.
Thanks for watching.
See ya.